lanzamiento, aquí viene un batazo de Mundito entre right center field, la bola pica, se extiende, viene anotando Stott, empata el juego, también manda para la bola Turner anota y los Phillies se van arriba. Se prepara, Mundito en segunda, el lanzamiento, batazo profundo para el center field, la bola se va, Schwarber Bob, ¡campanazo! Aquí viene el lanzamiento, swing y lo ponchó. Ponche de Alvarado, amigos. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Phillies Weekly. Another week of Phillies baseball in this 2026 season that is a real puzzle. I mean, this week we go 2-4. We blow a couple of games that absolutely in any other probably season we win. And the bullpen, except the bullpen has not been good and is an issue. I think we blew 10 games in the month of 10 leads in the month of July. And this team did not have a very good July. And but look, how this season goes is a roller coaster. We win the last two games and we shut out the Orioles in 2 straight games. So how you doing, John? I got John and Tyler here with me. Jeff should join us in the next few minutes, and his birthday was yesterday, so you can see he's kind of extended his birthday apparently here. How you doing, guys? How you doing, John?
Good. Doing a lot better after a couple wins now. Feels like the Phillies are starting to get back on track, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, Schwarber needs to get on track soon. I mean, for this team to make a deep run. And tomorrow is the big day, Tyler. We are less than 24 hours, 19 hours or so to the trading deadline. It is going to be wild in the next few hours. The Phillies need to make some changes here to change the dynamic of this team and get this team back on track where they need to. What are your thoughts as we get into this?
Yeah, they definitely do have to make some changes, and I can't see any situation where they won't make those trades. You know, we are 22 hours out, and we haven't had a deal yet, but, you know, a lot of teams' asking prices are still high, and they're going to continue to drop until the deadline, and I feel confident that we'll get some pieces, and it felt like the team was just kind of getting there until the deadline, you know, trying to make it to the deadline. And the last 2 games have been very encouraging.
Yeah, the All-Star break, I mean, suddenly came at the wrong time, I guess, for this team. I mean, we went, 3-9, 3-10, and then suddenly we won the last 2 games. Look, to me, when I look at the Orioles, I look at a lot of the same flaws the Phillies have. I mean, they're a team that have a lot of stars. I mean, like Alonso and Gunnar Henderson. Holiday supposed to be kind of a star for them. They had their best pitcher today. I mean, Bradish is their best pitcher, but they just don't seem to be putting things together. And their bullpen, it is an enigma. We do have Duran. We do have great starts in Duran, Wheeler. Christopher Sanchez has been pitching completely lights out, as well as Harper and Schwarber and Turner. But we don't. Somehow, it just doesn't feel that we can put things together in a way where all the pieces are greater than the sum of his individual parts. I don't know. High-level thoughts before we go into this baby here.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. They're somehow less than the sum of their parts. They don't do a lot of things. It's hard to name many things that the Phillies do well. They don't get on base. They don't play defense. Now, what they do have is Wheeler and Sanchez at the top of the rotation gives you a puncher's chance in the postseason if you can get in, which is far from certainty at this point. So, you know, it'll be fascinating to see how the deadline plays out. It'll be interesting if this is the year they finally go for the big move after some other years where it looked like they, you know, didn't need as much. So we'll see. But I definitely won't give up on this team yet. You know, the bus is leaking oil, but they're still alive. And with the right moves, you can patch this thing up and hopefully make some noise in the postseason.
Yeah, the talent is there. I mean, when you look at it, I mean, how many teams have a Schwarber, a Harper, a Turner, and 3 starters the way the Phillies have? Not too many teams in all baseball. I mean, Seattle is an issue. I mean, they do have stars out there, and they have had an awful season. Now the Houston Astros have basically taken off, and they're going to probably win that division. But I mean, look, everybody loves what the Red Sox are doing. I mean, it's amazing how the Red Sox, I mean, suddenly just woke up one day and without their stars. I mean, Roman Anthony's out. I mean, the lefty, their starter is out. It's just this team. I mean, it's amazing what they've been able to do. And look, someday I hope one day we wake up and all these guys know how good they are and they can bring it all together. But they have not done it in the last two postseason. And this year we've had two good months, two very good months. But then the beginning of the year we went 9-19. Now we go 3-10, and it just doesn't. And then the manager. I mean, what in the world did Mattingly did today? Going. I mean, Harper. I know. Look, everybody's going to say Harper's Harper. He's going to speak his minds out. But going the next day and saying, look, my kids can all be playing a GM. I mean, come on. I mean, I think he signed today his exit from being the manager of the Phillies next year.
100%. I think that he's just here for the end of the year. And no matter what happens, even if they do win the World Series, I cannot see him coming back next year. It was great while things were going well. But at this point now, I think he's actually a detriment to the team. And there have been a few games where they've lost because of him.
He's having issue managing the pitching stuff. I mean, it's an issue. We know he cannot manage. I mean, how many times we go in when we're watching this team play and having Aaron Nola say, you need to take Nola out. I mean, Nola have given you 5 great innings, 6 great innings. Take him out. I mean, take him out. And he leaves them in, and boom, there you go.
He's just pressing all the wrong buttons for whatever reason. He also had a problem. He left Nola in. He took Nola out, had a problem. Left Nola in a different game, had a problem. He's just anything he does is wrong.
I don't think he has a sense for pitching and understanding. No. I mean, for hitting, we will never question the quality of hitter that he was. I thought he was a great influence when he came in with all our hitters. I like the fact that he goes out in the field. He's one more guy that he can speak, and a lot of the guys like, I don't know, Stott or Baum, we look up to him, one of the stars of our game. I mean, from a hitting standpoint, I can look, but you go out and say what he says. I mean, oof, absolutely. He basically put a pin in that balloon and basically exploded in his face when he said that this week.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's really tough watching him, talk too, because his son is the general manager. So it feels like he's partially speaking for the front office. And I think it's a huge conflict of interest. And I mean, I hope they win the World Series, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we all do. We want to win the World Series, but the way, I don't know if it's chemistry. Look, I've been in that dugout many times. Harper is a different beast, right? Harper is a guy that leads he leads with an action more than his words. When he speaks, he basically is to send very clear messages. I mean, you saw it with Bryson Stott when he wanted to start playing every single day that he went out and did it. He's gone out of his way many times to convey very clear messages. And look, he
resigning JT back.
What was that?
Resigning JT Realmuto.
He feels the need to send very clear messages. And in his view, he's the leader of this team. In my view, the guy that basically brings everybody together, the connector, the guy that leads his team, in my view, is Schwarber more than him. In that sense that he's the guy that brings people along for the ride in terms of what the team needs to do. I mean, unfortunately, he gets into this streaks that are very, very complicated. And, tomorrow he's probably going to hit 4 home runs tomorrow. And then everybody forgets about what happens the last 2 weeks. But look, that's who he is, who he's as a player. And in my view, Schwarber is going to be a Hall of Famer at some point because of what he's done with his bat throughout his career. But let's move quickly through some of the things. This is an awful week. I mean, you let the Miami Marlins, guys. The Miami Marlins sweep you. I mean, that first game, I mean, that's probably one of the most painful games that I've ever experienced as a Phillies fan. I mean, Wheeler couldn't get his SEM going. Then you go in and you come back and you're ahead. Duran has it in his hands, and we blew the game. I mean, one of the most painful games I've experienced.
And then the sad part about that, it was like opposite day, right? All the other relievers pitched well.
I mean, Alvarado, I mean, you put in one of your tweets, Tyler, what is it, 9 straight? I mean, only 1 run he's allowed?
Yeah, he's been really good recently. 9 outings, 1 earned run. And, I feel like with that 9th inning, there were a couple plays that I don't know if they could have been made, but I feel like if they were made, it would have made a huge difference in that inning. And the Marlins are a scrappy team. I know that they had that 12-game losing streak, but they'll be swinging at the first pitch every single time. And the big thing that the Phillies have been doing recently is, trying to throw that first pitch strike. Yeah. And I feel like they're missing some of these adjustments, With a team like the Marlins, if you know that that's their plan, maybe you start throwing a few outside of the zone. If you see it early in the game, you adjust throughout the game. And that entire series, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was a really, really disappointing. You lose 1-0. I mean, Nola has an unbelievable outing. And then you lose 8-6. I mean, it's just bizarre. I mean, to be honest with you, it's just understanding this team's psychology. I think whomever is the next manager needs to have psychology as they're graduating as a psychologist, because is managing this team is very, very complicated because so streaky, and it's incredible. Then we go to Baltimore, and I mean, we have Luzardo pitching a masterpiece, and then we go out, and again, the bullpen, I mean, implodes. I mean, what was the score? Was what, 6? What was the score when in the Luzardo game?
Yeah,
and I have them here. They're all here.
Lead.
That was the Marlins game. It was that Marlins game. I mean, Luzardo was up 6-0. I mean, you cannot lose that freaking game. I mean, you're winning 6-0 after 6 innings. You cannot lose a game.
Yeah, I mean, the entire series. We talked about the first game, and then the second game's a 1-0 loss, and then the third game blows 6-0 lead. This is excruciating. And
then look at the Painter. Look how Painter pitched.
Yeah.
6 innings. 3 hits, 2 runs. He leaves the game. I thought we were winning like 3-2 the game. I mean, and then we implode again. The bullpen implodes again. And I mean, Christopher Sanchez last 2 days, Christopher Sanchez and then Wheeler with the rain out game or the rain shortened game. I mean, it's just bizarre, to be honest with you. Let me keep moving through some of the things so we can focus on the task ahead, which is the trade deadline that everybody wants to talk about, and we'll focus a lot on that. But take a look at last 30 days, last 20 days, last 10 days. I mean, this team imploded. I mean, it's like awful, completely awful. We're 3-7 last 10 games, 8-12 the last 20, 13-17 after we had a tremendous June. I mean, we were 18-9 in June, and we go 9-15. We ended up the month, and then we start August, and we win the first 2 games. But it's so streaky. I mean, it's so streaky. And you look at that same thing last year. Last year, in the month of April, we were 14-12. Then we went 19-9, 14-13. But take a look how we ended up the year: 18-11 and 17-8. We were very, very streaky. I mean, it's a very, very streaky team in the way we approach things and we played. And hopefully Schwarber can get hot as well as Harper. I mean, Harper hit a home run today against a lefty.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest problem, They rely so much on these stars to be the stars, but they have all of these other guys that, like Stott, he's doing really well right now, and Bohm's not. And Marsh isn't doing well now. But it's those guys too. I mean, they can't just live and die by the top 3 guys in the lineup. And hopefully at this deadline, when they do acquire some players, they can provide additional length to the lineup so they don't have to keep relying on some of these guys.
Yeah, it's crazy, guys. I mean, it is crazy. We're 16-6 against the National League East, but we're not the first. Remember, we were the best 1-run team in baseball. Not anymore. There are like 3 or 4 teams that have 20 wins already.
I think 4 straight losses in 1-run games.
Yeah,
I think they were 19-6. I mean, you knew they were living dangerously with all these 1-run wins and at an almost unsustainable pace. I didn't know they were going to regress so hard, so fast with these losses. But you mix those in with their normal losses, for lack of a better term, and this is what you get.
I'm reading here, the Padres are considering Senga and Devers. That is the sinking ship. I mean, with Senga and Devers, if they go there, I mean, incredible. Look at on a typical week, right? Remember what I always tell you: we got to score more than 4 runs, and we have to allow less than 4 runs. Guess what? That happened this week, and we went 2-4. And particularly because we blew 2 games. I mean, that basically, it's on a nutshell, the way I look at it. And because we're so streaky, take a look at how we win. We win 5-0 and an 8-0, and then we lose 1-0 games. And I mean, it's just bizarre. I mean, this team is a roller coaster. I mean, that's how I would position this team, is a roller coaster. So here is how we look. We are 23-30 against teams that are above 500. We're 36-23, so we're beating the bad teams, but we didn't beat the Marlins. After losing 12 games in a row, we allowed them to win 3 straight games against us, unheard of. And then we're -4 now in run differential. I know some people don't look at run differential that much, but so let's keep riding the wave here. Here is a very interesting chart. This team, when I tell you it's a roller coaster, I mean, this says it all. I mean, look at the numbers for the Phils here. I mean, month by month. April, we were awful. I mean, the word awful is probably the best word to describe this team. We were awful. We couldn't hit. We're 26 in run score and 25th in ERA. Then in month of May, we have one of the best pitchings in all of baseball. 319. Our starters were second in all of baseball in ERA. And then we let our pitching, this is when Mattingly came in, dictate the pace. Then in June, our hitters wake up, and we were second in baseball in run score. And we were hitting, ganbuster. And now in July, we go back again to who we were in April. Absolutely awful. 25th in run score with 392 and 26 in baseball in ERA. Particularly driven by our relief pitching, which absolutely imploded in the month of July. We blew 10 saves in the month of July.
That's brutal. I mean,
yeah, it's brutal.
You could argue worse in July than they were in April, looking at these numbers, which is hard to fathom.
Yeah, it's, absolutely crazy. Absolutely
I think it was worse. And the reason I say that is that in April, they kept facing a very hot Braves team, a very hot Cubs team. Those teams were on it when they were facing the Phillies. The Phillies this time around faced a Marlins team that lost 12 straight games. They were losing to the Mets. They were losing to the Yankees, whose offense wasn't good. And then I've already blocked July out. I don't even remember the other team they faced. But it felt worse this time around because of the amount of opponents that they faced. And every single night, it was a different issue. And
you see it there. Those are the opponents. You can see it week by week there.
I think, everybody except Baltimore and Dodgers.
So the Dodgers, yeah. So it's always the same 3 issues, just change day. So it's absolutely bad, guys. I mean, how this thing looks. So let's keep going. So here's the latest and greatest after the games today. So we're 8 games. I mean, we were 2 games behind the Braves? Yeah.
We're 8 games behind the Braves now.
The Marlins quick.
The Marlins, every time I do this, 1 week is the Marlins are third, the next week the Nationals are third, and then they go back and forth. I mean, because they begin to move around. But the Marlins have won the last 3 games, and you know what they did to us. I mean, they swept us. So they're right now 58 and 55, and they're a very similar team when you look at the stats. They're in the middle of the pack in terms of ERA. And then they don't score runs like we do. I mean, we're 18th, 19th in baseball in run score, but they're harder than we are. They're 6-4 in the last 10 games. And look, I just cannot imagine we're going to let the Marlins beat us. I mean, guys, it's crazy. I mean, look at this thing here, where we are right now. We're a game and a half out of the Padres, and we're one game in the loss column against the Padres, and two games behind the Marlins. I mean, so they're right there. I mean, if we don't start playing better baseball, they're going to catch us, and we're going to be out of the playoffs. It's as simple as that.
Yeah,
which to me is unheard of.
No, it's after June, I would have told you they're definitely making the postseason, and I think that was a common sentiment among most Phillies fans. Now, nothing would surprise me. No outcome for this team would surprise me because nothing about them makes sense.
Now, what is it? What is it about this team? I mean, when you look at, I'll come back to this. This is our hitting profile. Take a look how we hit. This slide says everything you need to know about the Phillies. So we're 18th in hitting, okay, 18th in run score. We're 23rd on average. Remember, there are 30 teams in baseball. We're the last team on base percentage. So it's slugging. So that means we have to slug. We have to hit home runs, doubles, and home runs to score runs. That's the first thing that it tells you. Our OPS is 23rd. Against right-handed pitching is 20th. Against left-handed pitching is 22nd. But with runners in a scoring position, we are 6th in baseball. But there's one problem. We're last in baseball putting runners in the scoring position.
Runners in the scoring position. I think that's exactly right. The number that jumps out at me is the on-base percentage. Like, if you want a consistent offense, you can't be relying on the home run ball like this team. What you need is people consistently getting on base every inning, giving the team a chance, no matter where you are in the lineup, to score some runs. And this team doesn't do that. They can't get on base. They're terrible at getting on base. They rely on home runs. And if you're relying on home runs, that's just going to be inherently streaky.
And the teams that are ahead of us, let's put up the Braves, the Milwaukee Brewers, the Dodgers. I don't want to put Chicago, but those three teams, those are primarily the three teams. Chicago could be that we might have to face Chicago, but I don't see them winning the National League. I do see any of the other three teams winning the National Teams League if we cannot win it. So all those teams, they have one thing in common. Their percentage of their own base percentage, as well as the percentage of times they get on base because of base on balls, they're in the top 10. They get on base. They get on base in the top 10, and and something that is very, very peculiar of teams like the Cleveland Guardians or the Tampa Bay Rays or the Milwaukee Brewers is their top 5 in baseball getting on base behind bases on balls. We are not, which talks about the lack of discipline. And when we look at lack of discipline, look at the amount of times we strike out. Every 4 times we go hit, at least one time we strike out. The other thing, we hit a lot of home runs, but we don't hit as many doubles because we're 20th in baseball in extra base hits. So it's very interesting. We're very, very high hitting home runs, but we're not as high hitting doubles, and that's what put us down being in a percentage of extra base hits of 7.4% of the times we hit extra base hits. But take a look at the chase rate. We're next to last in baseball, chasing the ball outside of the strike zone. And we're 20th in wins.
How many years with this team have we been talking about their chase rate and needing a different mindset, a different approach? Take your walks, don't chase, have patience, and they just don't do it.
And you know what? We can't blame it on Castellanos anymore.
Can't blame it on Casty anymore either.
We cannot blame it on Casty. Hey, by the way, when we hit the ball, we're 4th in baseball in hard hits, and we're 5th in baseball in exit velocity. So the bottom line is, we don't hit the ball enough. We don't get on base enough. If we would be able to win. So, Mr. Dombrowski, we need guys that get on base. We need guys that get on base. Whatever you're going to get, make sure those are guys that get on base so we can have the Schwarber, the Harpers, and the Turners of this world, bring them in with their home run hitting abilities.
Exactly. It's simple enough to me. I don't know why they can't just.
It's math, guy. I mean, 1 + 1 = 2. It doesn't equal 15. I mean, it's like, come on. Yeah. So that's baseball. That's a Phillies baseball. That's a Phillies profile on hitting. So here is kind of where we are when we start looking at things. We've improved a little bit because Turner has been playing much better, hitting much better in the last month and a half. He's been hitting much, much better. That's why you see 727, which is average in MLB. The same thing with the 8th hitter. By the way, Brian De La Cruz, he's doing it, man. He deserves a spot on this team. Yeah. He deserves to be a part of a platoon, at least a part of a platoon. And he's our everyday right fielder in my view right now.
Oh, he definitely is. I saw a quote yesterday from Don Mattingly, and he basically stated that Rincones is not going to be getting the at-bats right now because he hasn't shown enough, and it's De La Cruz until at least the deadline.
Yeah, amazing. So there you see the profile versus right-handed pitching. I mean, it's like 708 OPS, left-handed pitching 698, and then 782 with runners in the scoring position. But of course, we're last with only 945 plate appearances with runners in the scoring position. So
yeah, it's been a saving grace, but you have to wonder if it's sustainable. If there's some luck involved there in that 782, it's keeping them alive, and they've done a great job when the runners on the rare occasions are in scoring position. But
these two slides tell me everything that I need to know about the streaky Philadelphia 2026 Philadelphia Phillies hitting. I mean, these two slides. So the next slide goes on the profile of our pitching. So when you start looking at our pitching, look, we're 18th. That should be in yellow. I'm sorry because of it. I mean, too many numbers trying to change the color. So our overall pitching is 422. We're 18th in baseball. 412 among our starters, 11th in baseball, and our relief pitching is where we're crumbling. 443 is our ERA among our relief pitching. At some point, believe it or not, in the beginning of the season, our relief pitching was much, much better than our starters. But it's now back to reality here. And the bottom line, I mean, no Keller. Keller is out. He did not accomplish what we all expected him to accomplish. Alvarado's inconsistency. Kerr now entering the inconsistency. We didn't know what we were going to get out of Kerr when we started the year. He started really, really well, but now he cannot control his pitches, and that is a problem. And then what? You're going to trust Misa? You're going to trust Bacchus? I mean, guys, there's not enough to go around. I mean, we need to get at least two relief pitching. That's why when I see a guy like we'll talk more in the next couple of slides when we go into the trading deadline. So here's our pitching in a nutshell. I mean, our starting pitching is number one in all of baseball. Our starting pitching striking out guys. We're 11th in base on balls because this number is wrong. I gotta fix that number. It's not 22. We're like 8th in all of baseball in starters in relief in terms of number of innings. So and our relief pitching are 25th in baseball because they don't pitch as much. So we're like we've done in the last few years. We're overworking as starters to pitch 6 and 7 innings, and then the relief pitching when they come in, they're not effective, and it's kind of the circle that we have. So we need to significantly improve our relief pitching before we go in and improve our 5th starter and our 4th starter, because Nola has been doing the job over the last 4 or 5 outings. Let's talk about trading the trade deadline. Look. This is ridiculous, guys. In my opinion, I put a tweet yesterday under MLB when I saw this. MLB is broken. How in the look at all the way to the right. Look at the payroll of the Los Angeles Dodgers. $430 million, guys. That is $300 million ahead of the Milwaukee Brewers.
It's absurd.
I mean.
I
don't care if they have to pay $180 million in taxes. I don't care. The bottom line, this is unacceptable. And then I get a slap in the face, and the players get a slap in the face that they want to put a ceiling. I mean, a top floor. I mean, give me. A ceiling on top of their salary cap. Then why are you allowing the Dodgers to do this? To me, this is ridiculous. To me, baseball is broken. And this is a perfect sample of why baseball is broken. You know what? Hand them the trophy. I think they should hand them the trophy. I mean, who in the world is going to beat Skubal, Ohtani, Snell, Glasnow, and Yamamoto? I mean, come on, guys.
Here's the thing. I mean, it's so random that they don't go into these series 100% they're going to win. You know, I still think that the other team has a shot. You know,
we're competing. We're competing for the what is it?
They spent.
I think at a certain point you hit diminishing returns, right? Like you can only pack so much talent into your roster at a certain point, it's.
What is the concept, guys? I go back to the concept. I mean, the concept is this doesn't make any sense. $430 million. The Phillies are what, $320 million? They're $100 million above the Phillies.
But imagine if the Phillies were as smart as they were, because the Phillies don't spend their money well at all. The Dodgers, of course, they will go out and give out crazy contracts, but they still spend their money and get returned for it. They still make great trades. They still draft very well.
Well, if you make 10, if 8 of them work, and the Tuckers of this world and the Edwin Diaz of this world don't work, they definitely work, because you got Mookie Betts, you have Freddie Freeman, you have Shohei Ohtani. I mean, come on. Oscar Hernandez. I mean, the only guy that they develop internally is Pages, the center fielder. That's the only guy they develop internally. Everything else, it's like
they developed Yordan Alvarez, who they traded away when he was really young.
Can you imagine that thing? I mean, look, they might trade for him. You never know.
We'll bring him back.
They might put Ohtani back in the outfield and put him as DH. I mean, Jordan Alvarez. By the way, what a monster that guy is, man.
I think the silver lining with this Dodgers trade is, at least the Dodgers were a problem before the Skubal trade. Will be a problem after. At least he didn't go somewhere and take a team that was, close to the Phillies in terms of talent and elevate them up so that they're another roadblock for the Phillies.
Yeah, I do believe their Achilles heel is still the bullpen. I do believe that bullpen can be had. Edwin Diaz have not been the same pitcher in the last few years with the Mets, and you can see Scott. I mean, Tanner Scott is also a roller coaster. So it's he has a great arm, but can he bring it all together? So I think they can be had. But look, it needs to be low scoring, and you need to beat them at the end. We had them there, guys. We had them there. In the first game, we had them there. Ranger Suarez needed to come and pitch a 7th and 8th inning. I will always say that. I'm sorry, Phillies. I love you to death, but Ranger Suarez should have been the 7th and 8th pitcher in Game 1 of the National League. It wasn't the championship series, was it? It was the divisional series.
But even if Ranger wasn't there, Rob was using guys in roles that they've never been used in. And I think even if he made other personnel decisions, I think they still could have gotten there. And you're right. They won that other game. And then the last game, if they just had any sort of living bat in that game, they would have won. I mean, you can blame Kerr all you want, but that team, if Kerr made that throw, they would probably get walked off 2 innings later because they weren't scoring at all.
Yeah, they could have played all night and they just weren't going to score.
Eric says, still say the Phillies beat the Dodgers if Wheeler is there.
They could have, but the offense
they could have. I
wasn't
mean,
there.
they could have, no doubt about it. I mean, we'll talk about Randy Arozarena in a couple minutes. I mean, we got some great tweets here from Tyler, and we'll go over them momentarily. But look, it's ridiculous, guys. This to me is a perfect example why baseball is broken. You want to put a salary ceiling on top of this, guys? Give me a break. I mean, look, 430. They would need to lay off. I mean, almost $200 million to be able to get to the number that they want. I mean, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. By the way, the Red Sox are beating 5-3 the Dodgers right now.
The other thing, too, that I wish more people understood, and maybe this is just me being selfish as a Phillies fan, but the moment they put the cap in, it affects the Dodgers. It also really affects the Phillies. Yeah. They're going to be in a bad spot with a cap.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of teams that should be complaining about the Dodgers, the Phillies are probably not it because they it's not like they're broke. I mean, there's a ton of other teams that would kill the Phillies' financial position.
It's just, I mean, what happens at the bottom? I mean, with teams like the Marlins and the Rays, I mean, they're winning, but then on the other hand, the guys on top, I mean, it's just. Look, you want every team to have a star that you want to go see in your hometown or you want to go see on the road. I mean, you want stars in every team. I mean, ideally. You cannot have them all. The Dodgers, I mean, come on. I mean, they have like 20, 30. I mean, they're 26 players and they have 27 stars. And the other ones are in the injured list and they're coming back.
The other thing with the Skubal trade, too, is the Dodgers have just done so well in accumulating, minor league talent. That of course they got the player. But, Milwaukee, they could have offered a little bit more. They could have gotten him.
They could.
The Tigers didn't have to trade him to the Dodgers, but the Dodgers probably gave them the best deal.
And 2 out of the 3 guys that they gave away on the trade, they were trades that they made before. So it's
Correct.
like, come on, guys.
Yeah, it's just
ridiculous.
having that smart front office. And
yeah, it's what, 7th? It was like the 7th, the 9th, and the 17th player in their farm system. Yeah. They didn't even get their top 5, not even one for Tarik Skubal.
The crazy part is that outfielder they gave up, who I think was their 6th best prospect, he would have been number 2 on the Phillies just because of the farm system differences. So I always think about, imagine if the Rays or the Brewers or the Guardians had like $100 million more. Imagine how good they would be too.
I do think the Phillies, to me, I know Harper came in the previous regimen, but I do appreciate that Dombrowski is here. When Dave is here, the possibilities of us having the ability to win and the chance to win is significantly higher than we were before with any other general manager, in my view. I mean, I know. My friend Amar is going to say that he brought. I mean, he brought some great players. I don't disagree with that. But in the last 10 years or so, I mean, Dombrowski changes the picture for us because if he's there, he's going to do whatever it takes to try to win a series or try to win make it to the World Series. But look, the only thing you want is a chance, right? You have the chance. The players at the end of the day need to execute, and the manager needs to make the right moves. Ranger Suarez.
Yeah. No, it's always going to come down to the players. That's true. I mean, Dombrowski, I don't know. Let's see what he does at this deadline. I'll give you a much stronger opinion.
The one thing I'll say about Dombrowski is he did elevate the team to actually make it to the postseason. He did add a lot of money. I feel like he's done a very good job of getting the payroll up too, because when Clentak was here, you couldn't even imagine getting the payroll this high. I feel like he does such a good job of convincing people to spend money, so I think on that end he's been good, but I mean you see the holes, see the lack of inaction the past couple trade deadlines and from the off season, so I think there's a very good part of him that will get you close, but then there's that huge hole that's in between. So is he better than Clentak? Probably, but I don't know. It does feel like it's heading towards the end if he doesn't have a big deadline.
It's a tough one, guys. I mean, it is sorry, my bad. That's me. Somebody what's something happened here? Sorry, guys. Somebody went crazy. I think that was a trade alert. No, just kidding. That was a Phillies trade alert. No, I mean, look, with Clentak, you needed to put an alert when Harper was going to hit and when Aaron Nola was pitching. Basically, the rest was like you would go to snooze button. I mean, right now, I believe we have a chance. It's just the window is closing. That's my biggest fear. The window is closing. They're getting older, and the window is closing. Here are some of the trades that have happened. I like the trade for Freddie Peralta. I bet that kid is going to be a stud in that Tampa Bay rotation. Guaranteed, man. That is a guaranteed. Luis Castillo's, which have not been the same pitcher, going to the White Sox that were desperate. I like the move. Lane Johnson, I heard at some point that he could come to the Phillies. He would have been a great right-handed bat acquisition. He's done some very good things in the postseason. I mean, with Cleveland last year, he hit a few home runs. I like the guy. I like the profile. He's always hurt. That's the other thing. Luis Garcia, we won't have him in the Nationals, so at least they're one hitter less. That's a good thing. He's going to the Yankees. That's a good sign. Look, I like the hitter. I like what he brings. He doesn't have a good glove, but he's established himself at first base, and particularly with Judge hurt, I mean, they need any help they can get out of a hitter. So, and he's been really hot. On the other hand, Duvall. I mean, between Duvall and Gregory Soto, man, you're good. That is heart attack alert. I mean, every time those guys go out to pitch. So I thought that was an interesting acquisition there. Sir Anthony going to Seattle for Luis Castillo. Look, interesting opportunity for him. I've always he's one of my favorite Phillies, particularly as a personal friend, a real good guy. I mean, among the best that I've seen during my time with the Phillies. Then a few other kind of smaller moves. It was interesting. The Perkin moves, going to a defensive player, going to Cleveland. A Bo Naylor going to Milwaukee. Milwaukee always look. Milwaukee and Cleveland. I mean, those two guys. I'll take my hat off. I mean, those are two teams that are incredible. What they do, are capable of doing. Folter, what was your take on Folter going to the Braves?
I mean, he's not really good anymore. So I'm not too concerned. He cleared waivers a few months ago, and he's been pretty good in AAA for the Royals, but it doesn't really move the needle for me at all. It's just another option for the Braves, but I don't know. It felt like he was just a throw-in the Lane Thomas deal.
That's fair. That's fair. And then the other one, it was AJ Minter. That was interesting. That was one of the first moves the Mets made. I would have bet I would have kept that guy. I mean, they're probably could have gotten something bigger than what they got. So it's that was an interesting trade that went out earlier. Maybe they would have waited. They would have gotten something bigger. But now let's talk about the Phillies. So the big question, the first question, can Dave Dombrowski make one of these big blockbuster trades that maybe our friend Amaro did, like Cliff Lee? I mean, Steve Carlton, John? I mean, this was before our lifetime.
It's tough because when you think blockbuster, you're bringing in one guy, but they have so many holes, right? Yeah. We talked about they probably need 2 bats. We talked about they probably need 2 relievers. And, oh, by the way, you still got to deal with the 5th starter issue. That's a lot of holes to plug. And that, to me, suggests more, here's a move here, here's a move there, mid-tier acquisitions than a blockbuster. But, could be wrong.
So in an ideal world, Tyler, would you agree that we need a couple of relief pitchers, ideally, a couple of on-base guys? I mean, not necessarily they need to be stars. They could be on-base guys. Then, to me, the 5th starter is less of a priority to me. And then the other thing that I included here is the future. What's going to be our future in the outfield? This is the worst outfield in baseball, guys. Worst outfield in baseball, and by a mile. I mean, shortstop, what's the future of this team at shortstop? Is it in AA right now? I don't know. What's the future of our catcher? I mean, I see Rauchman out there being available. I mean, I would love to have Rauchman. I mean, Rauchman can be my JT Realmuto for the next 10 years. I mean, that guy is a leader. That guy, I know he has not been hitting well, and he's been getting a little injured the last 2 years. I follow the Orioles. I mean, since I was a little kid, I used to be – the Orioles are my American League team. How about that? Since I was Rauchman is a leader. I mean, I would never trade a Rauchman, even if they have Basayo, whatever they have. I mean, Rauchman, look, when I think catcher, I think what JT have brought to us over the last few years, a guy that can manage a leading pitching staff. I mean, Rauchman has all those things in him. Third base, what's going to be? I mean, Adam Miller, I haven't seen him grabbing a bat or grabbing a ground ball lately. I mean, and the future of second base, I mean, Stott is going to be gone in 2 years. Unless we want to resign him. I mean, I don't mind having Stott there, but then what are they going to do with Turner, which is the other big issue you have?
I think the biggest thing for this deadline is you have to plug the holes for this deadline and think about this season, and then worry a lot about what you just said in the offseason, because this offseason they do need to make some pretty big changes to this team. But going back to what you were saying, when it comes to the 5th starter, I think it just has to be someone who can, eat innings. Like, I don't think it has to be like someone really good, but it needs to be someone that you could trust coming out of the bullpen in the postseason. It can't be like Lorenzen or Walker Buehler. Like, those guys, they did eat the innings for the most part, but you didn't feel comfortable using them in the postseason. And for bats, I mean, I think they do need 2 outfielders. But I don't know if they will get 2 outfielders. But it seems more like this trade deadline is going to be about quantity over quality. maybe you will get one big trade. I mean, I have to give him credit for the Duran trade. I feel like that was a pretty big trade that he made.
Masterful.
But it seems like there's going to be a lot of quantity this deadline. And then this offseason, there just needs to be a lot of changes. And, Turner can't be the shortstop next year.
No.
Maybe they do move into the outfield. Maybe they decide to swap him with Stott. I don't know. But that's like the first issue. And then, sustainability. Bohm's not going to be back. So is Miller going to play? Do you need a third baseman? There's a lot of questions that I just don't think really can be answered right now. But I also don't think that they need to be answered right now. You don't need to be thinking about trades that affect your team next year if you're going to go for the quantity. So you're not going to be giving up top prospects. All those players that you just showed on the screen, they all went for less than I thought that they would go for.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it is possible to make a lot of these trades, but I don't necessarily know if they will be making the big trade.
The other thing, and remember, when a lot of these trades happen, you take salary, which is a big thing that you take along the way. One creative idea out there, because I do believe Dombrowski has to be very creative, is bring a starter, not necessarily a fifth starter, but bring a starter, and then in postseason you can move Luzardo to the bullpen to be one of the lefty arms that you have. I don't know. It's just a thought that I wanted to throw out there for us to discuss it.
Yeah, it's not crazy, and that is exactly the type of creativity they're going to have to show to figure this out, because you don't have the prospects that other teams have, in the trade market, and you have a lot of holes to fill. But this is why Dave Dombrowski gets paid the big bucks, right? You need to figure it out.
Let's start with relief pitching. So here are some of the names. Mason Miller, no way we're going to be able to get a guy of that quality. The lefty Riley from the Mets. Weaver. Luke Weaver, to me, would solve two problems at once. I mean, he's a guy that can pitch multiple innings. He's a guy that is a great quality arm. He'll be a tremendous setup guy. I know the Mets are going to get a lot for this guy, a very, very good prospect. He has one more year remaining of a contract. So the other guy is Jeff Hoffman. I mean, Hoffman is a guy that we know well, probably will not cost you a lot. He hasn't proven to be a reliable closer for them. I think a change of scenery probably is best for Hoffman. I do believe Hoffman it's a very good possibility that he will be coming here. Adrian Morejon is my favorite lefty in baseball. I mean, Adrian Morejon, this dude, it's the real deal. 100 miles an hour, no sense guy. I mean, imagine, the San Diego Padres having Miller and Morejon one after the other. I mean, that thing is like, in my fantasy team, I have Morejon. I mean, I have him I play 2 leagues. The 2 leagues have Morejon in it because it's automatic. I mean, the guy will give you a hole every time. He's a really, really good pitcher with great stuff. Kyle Finnehan, I think we've explored that name before, and I don't think it's a fan favorite. We could have had him a couple of years ago.
No,
I don't see him
want
there.
Nowhere near this team.
Ryan Walker, no thank you. I've seen what he's done for San Francisco, very inconsistent. Eric Miller is okay. Bender, I don't know. The other guys don't move me. Some of the other guys that move me, Brasovan, I think he would be a good quality arm that you can have. Kenley Jensen could be an interesting guy as an 8th inning guy before Duran. That combination of Jensen and Duran could be a very good one out there. If you can bring the same thing with Pete Fairbank, but he has an issue with his hand that he cannot pitch on the cold, so he's out of the question. Kirby Yates, I don't know. The other thing you mentioned is you want to talk about Anthony Sensatella and some of the things you heard, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, so he got removed from the rotation last season with the Rockies. And, I mean, he put up a few terrible years in Colorado. He moved to the pen last year. He was okay. The beginning of the year, up until June 1st, he was phenomenal for the Rockies. He was one of the best relievers in baseball. But recently, I mean, things have not been going well. And I don't like to go by ERA for relievers because, they can have 1 or 2 bad games that really affects them. He's just been horrible in general, though, since June 1st. I mean, there isn't even a prolonged stretch since June 1st where he hasn't really given up runs. And $4 million is still owed this year. He has a mutual option, he has a team option for next year. I believe the team option has a $2 million buyout. I don't see
$14 million is too much money.
Yeah, I don't see why they would.
Well, he used to be starter. He can pitch you multiple innings.
Well, yeah, except they haven't done it this year at all, so he's not even like built up for it. I don't know. I'm just not really interested in that.
Okay. And then the other name you heard here is Hoffman, which is to me, I mean, a guy like Luke Weaver would be unbelievable. If not, Jeff Hoffman would be kind of the backup. And then one more guy. I mean, Abrasovan could be a nice addition here that you could pitch in the 6th inning. I mean, it's just one more arm of quality. By the way, Alvarado's pitching better. We talked about that he's been pitching better. Hopefully he can turn it around in the second half because we absolutely need him. Moving to the next, which is a bat with a high on base percentage. I don't know, Tyler, take over some of the things you've heard.
Yeah, so there was a rumor about Joe Adell, and someone else brought up to me, maybe Joe Adell with Jose Soriano, the starting pitcher for the Angels, to really maximize.
That will cost you a painter. I mean, if you bring in Soriano, it'll cost you a painter.
Yeah, it definitely would. It would be a big deal, but Adell doesn't get on base. He's just like a lot of the players on this team. He hits a lot of home runs. He strikes out a ton. They're not even playing him in center field anymore. I don't really see the fit for the Phillies. I mean, of course, he would be an upgrade, but I don't think that's the type of upgrade that they need when there's people like Taylor Ward, who's exactly the opposite. I mean, he gets on base a ton. His power numbers have been down in Baltimore, but he also isn't the best player to be hitting home runs in Baltimore with the way that the fences are. So I think there's a lot of options, and it feels like there's just going to be a few people left at the end of the day tomorrow, and they're just going to choose the best one that's still there.
Is Randy Arozarena a nice alternative? I like what he does in the postseason. He's like Adolis Garcia postseason MVP. I mean, he loved the limelight. I mean, he did it for Mexico a couple years ago. I like him. I think he would be a great ad if we can get him.
100%. I don't know what the Mariners are looking for. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe he's a rental. But, he brings a lot of energy, and he's actually been very good in the regular season this year too. And that's actually been a pretty big negative against him. His regular seasons haven't been as good as his postseasons, but he's been very good this year.
Let me go, Tyler, if you don't mind just waiting a second, because I know that John has a hard stop at 9. I want to be respectful of that.
Sure.
John, why don't you give us, I promise we'll come back and we'll answer all your questions before we go here in the next 5-10 minutes. But John, I know you have a hard stop, and I respect all those things. Look, you've done an unbelievable job building here something very, very special. You even had a TV show going to your store this week. Why don't you talk to us about some of the latest and greatest? And you got King James now in the house.
Yeah. So 6 ABC was out here. They filmed their Saturday show, FYI Philly.
Love it.
Here at the shop, they highlighted Philly Goat, who designs many of the T-shirts that we sell here in the segment, and we're kind enough to showcase the store as well. But yeah, urge everybody. I don't want to take away from the trade deadline. We should get back to that. But I do urge everyone to
keep going, keep talking.
We got King James. Look, Tyler is checking to see what's the latest gossiping. So we're coming back. Okay. We're coming back.
While Tyler works the phones. Yeah,
he'll work the phones. I mean,
I'll plug the shop and say, please check it out in person, ideally, or check it out online at Foley's.
Best T-shirts in town. I mean, with unique graphics. I mean, they're super, super special. You have the bat signed by Mike Schmidt. You got baseball signed by Chase Utley and all the great Phillies.
Yeah, the last thing I'll say is, if you've come out before, come back, because it's a lot different now than it was a few weeks ago. We turn over our shirts frequently. We're bringing in new artists every week, new designers, new products, and our memorabilia collection is probably 5-10 times bigger than it was when we first opened.
Hey. I mean, amazing stuff. Thank you, John. Thank you for joining us. I mean, you can stay with us as long as you want to, but just wanted to be respectful. And then you can go always to FoleyOnSouth.com. And if you you order something above $75, you get free shipping. Some of the great things that John and the team does, I mean, is amazing. I've been at this store, and it's like Nirvana. It's like you're walking into the middle of the World Series. I mean, it's like it's beautiful. I mean, great job, John. And by the way, he's at the store right now. He's in one of the ends of the store there. So great job, John. Congratulations, man, for all the great things.
So much. Thanks.
Tyler, what happened, man?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing has happened. Not just with the Phillies, but with everybody. Nothing has happened.
I mean, look, one guy that I really like is Willie Castro. I mean, nobody has talked about this dude. This dude is a hitter. This dude can play multiple positions. I'll ask you one question, John, before you go. Luis Arraez. We heard this name. We love Luis Arraez. We love to have the guy. The guy's an on-base machine. He's going to win the batting champ for the fourth time with 4 different teams, guys. Incredible. What are we going to do? I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to sit down on Alec Bohm?
I would not be heartbroken if it's Bohm that gets bumped out.
So what do you? I mean, Tyler, what are we going to do here if we bring Luis Arraez? Are we chipping Bohm as part of the trade? I mean, they got Chapman over there.
I mean, they don't need Bohm, so I think Bohm would go in a separate trade.
Okay,
that's separate, but I do think one answer to the lack of prospects available to package and deals is taking a look at some guys on the major league roster, because we talk all the time. They need to shake it up.
We have a trade, not with us. The Cubs are acquiring Kevin Gausman.
They need a pitching. They need a pitching badly. I mean, all their pitcher, Horton, everybody's hurt in their rotation. So Imanaga and Gausman, you see some of these trades. I mean, Gausman has been pitching awful. He has like almost a 5 ERA this year, but he would have been a great ad for us. So who they give? Do we know, or just a Gausman piece?
We don't know yet.
I mean, what's your take on a potential trade to bring Barshow and Hoffman? I see that as something. I do believe that the Barshow Hoffman trade, or I wouldn't want Joe Adele, because it's more of the same that we have, and potentially means somebody like Soriano or maybe a Sagneto. I mean, if you bring Sagneto here, I mean, it's gonna shake things up big time. I mean,
definitely
he strikes out too much. By the way, he's one of the hitters that strike out the most in all of baseball.
Yeah, but I also think that when you leave the Angels, there's always the potential that they were holding you back. So for me, it's worth the risk. It's worth the shakeup. I don't know if they would actually do it, but the one thing I know about this current Angels group is they seem to choose prospects based on their internal evaluations, not based on public perception. So part of me feels like you might actually be able to make a pretty fair deal with the Angels for Neto. I just don't see it this deadline, unfortunately. But Varsho, I think he's great. I don't know if he's like the big bat. His bat is not the same as what it used to be, but it's better than what they currently have. And Hoffman's been very good since June 1st as well. It seems like Toronto's just.
And Varsho can play the center field, which gives you a lot more flexibility.
Correct. Yeah, he's very good defensively. I don't know what they would do with Crawford in that case, or if they would just push Varsho to right. But he's a good player. It's just I don't know.
I mean, he can play in the outfield, right? So you can have March, you can have the combination of March, Crawford, Varsho, and De La Cruz. I mean, as of right now, as possibilities. I mean,
Derek Hill.
Yeah. I mean, Derek Hill, I like Derek Hill. I mean, he's a good utility guy, but you cannot count everything on him. So
yeah, and it's the same with De La Cruz. Like, he's been very good, but historically he's been pretty average. And Hill has the defense, De La Cruz doesn't. So they both just seem like guys that you can ride when you're hot. But I don't know.
I mean, I love George Springer. Springer, and I know he's old. He's 30, whatever. 34.
He hasn't played the field, though. That's the problem.
That is the problem.
He's played 7 innings in the field this year. So
I would love to have that bat. I mean, look, that guy can hit you lead off. I mean, that guy gives you a right-handed bat he can put forth. I mean, he would be the perfect bat, but he hasn't. I mean, he's always hurt. And but I would love to start a postseason with that guy in this lineup. I mean, let me see.
Yeah,
Cubs. Kevin Gausman,
no update on what they've given for him, but Yeah, I mean, I saw Gosman the past 5 games has been a lot better. And maybe it's just the motivation that he knew his time in Toronto was ending. You know, they were not scoring. Their pitching was struggling. For a while, they had 5 major league starters on the injured list. So
out of this list, I mean, Arozarena, it would be somebody that interests me because of the prime time, and he likes that. Sagneto could be an interesting guy. I agree with you. Down the road, Jeffers, no. Tyron Taylor,
he doesn't do much. You know, a lot of these
do much.
A lot
Elliot
of these
Ramos. I mean, I know people have talked that name. It's okay. He's okay.
Yeah,
he's not going to move the needle.
And he has multiple years of control, so you're going to have to give up more to get him.
Yeah. Tyler Ward, I mean, he's hitting 247. I know he gets on base. He gets a lot of base on balls, but he hasn't hit with the same authority he did with the Angels. I remember, guys, when you move a guy like that haven't played in a high heat market and you put him in Philly. I mean, you put him in Philly, you put him in New York. I mean, you don't know what to expect. Look at Duvall. You move Duvall from San Francisco. He was not even the shadow who he was afterwards. So
no. But the thing with Ward, as we said before, he does get on base. So I don't know. I'm
hearing from some friends that things are moving. Things are moving. It's coming. It's coming. Hopefully tonight. I don't want to wait till tomorrow. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, hopefully tonight. So here's the other thing. I saw somebody that put this name out there. Hold on one second. Give me 1 second here. Clay Holmes. Clay Holmes is very similar to Luke Weaver to me. Those are pitchers that I know Clay Holmes have been a starter, but he can be a great reliever. Those are the type of guys. Remember, in the postseason, you move the pieces around. The pieces are not the same. I mean, you're starting your rotation is very, very different. Your pitching staff pitches different in the postseason. I know that. I mean, you got Wheeler and you got Christopher Sanchez, and you're gonna ride them 6-7 innings as much as you can. But for other guys, maybe even Luzardo or for a potential guy like we could bring here, they're gonna pitch 5 innings, and then you're gonna need 4 innings. And a lot of the guys like Clay Holmes or like the Weavers are the guys that are gonna they're gonna go the bridge out there. Yeah, we heard you, Andrew. We heard that Gausman is going to the Cubs. But I do like
is he's proven that he can do both. You know, I think that's the most important part, because then you don't have to worry. You know, maybe you decide that Luzardo is still who you want to start in the playoffs, but then you know with confidence that he can go into Clay Holmes can go into the bullpen. You won't have to worry about it. And I think that's the biggest thing. Like, think about Aaron Nola. They started him in a playoff game last year over Ranger Suarez because they were afraid that Nola couldn't handle the bullpen.
Yeah.
So
if you're gonna get a starter, I mean, outside of what we said, out of the box where you get a top arm, but it's gonna cost you. If you get a Tom Arndt and then you have the flexibility to put in Luzardo in the bullpen, I really like that. The other option, if you need to go get an arm, I get any of the last three guys, Brady, Singer, or Miley or Sugano, because those are guys that are going to give you innings. I mean, there are 4 or 5 ERA, but they're reliable arms, probably better than what you have right now. But look, the Painter question, it pains me. Let's put it this way: the Painter question. I mean, do you get rid of Painter for the right guy? It has to be somebody that has upside, that is young, that have upside, that can truly take. I mean, George Kirby is an interesting name. I mean, Kirby, the Sorianos of this world, those are very interesting names if you go after it. Whomever gets Foster Griffin, it'll be a very, very interesting that guy could be a very interesting arm in the postseason. So I could see the Cubs, I could see the Braves going after Foster Griffin. I heard they were after him earlier a couple of weeks ago. That could be a very interesting arm, sleeper arm out there.
And when it comes to Kirby and Soriano, of course I would love them. You know, I feel like they're both budding stars. They both have control. But you're right, they would cost Painter. And I think in the perfect world, you still have Painter as rotation depth, because right now you just don't have it at all. So acquiring another starter and then still having the ability to bring up Painter, I think would be huge. But with Kirby and Soriano, I don't know if you'll get there. But the name that I really like on this list is Casey Mize. And he is a rental. former.
Oh, he
number
could
one
be
overall
a
pick.
right-handed. He could be your right-handed of the future.
Yeah, you wouldn't put him in the bullpen. Like, he would be your third starter. He's that good. And the Tigers are already selling down. I mean, if that's the package that the Tigers just got for Skubal, obviously Mize is going to be less. I think it is within the Phillies price range. And again, rentals shouldn't cost your top prospect.
Yeah, it's. I mean, look, it is very interesting. Let's be realistic here, Tyler. What do you think is going to happen?
I think they'll get one of the starters on this list. And I actually think that starter is going to be the highest caliber player that they get. I don't know if I agree with that necessarily, but it feels like the way Dombrowski runs his teams and how he's run his teams in the past is having the big arm in the rotation. So I have a feeling that they will end up getting one of these big arms in the rotation. Maybe it's just Robbie Ray, but it feels like that's going to be the biggest move, with one solid reliever, one middle reliever, and an outfielder. I mean, I feel like that's where it is. 4 moves, and the biggest one's going to be in the rotation. And I do not agree with that.
I'm telling you, I'll go back to this slide here. The future is uncertain. Because you're paying Schwarber, you're paying Harper, you're paying Turner, and you're paying Realmuto. I mean, how are you going to build a team around those guys? I mean, and we know what Realmuto is. He's a defensive guy. I mean, the question is, can you get somebody? I mean, and you don't have the prospects, and that's the sad reality of this team.
I think they do have prospects, but
no, I do believe they have prospects, but
you don't want to trade all of those prospects, because then you'll be left with nothing. And I think that's the biggest issue. And as much as I would like to trade for the catcher of the future, or just someone who could be impactful now, they did give that 3-year commitment to Realmuto. And honestly, they have bigger holes right now. And it's tough because right now is the perfect time to get that future catcher. You know, Goodman sounds like he's on the market. Rutschman's on the market. But it's just not what the team really should be focusing on with all the holes on the roster.
I mean, Francisco Renteria is untouchable. Adam Miller, nobody's going to trade for Adam Miller because he has a back issue and they don't know. Ramon Marquez is an interesting guy. I mean, I was talking to my friend Steve Porter. He believes he could be like kind of a Ranger Suarez type.
I've heard that too.
Down the road. I mean, I trust Steve tremendously. If you don't follow him, follow Steve. Has a tremendous page. I'll find the name in a second.
Oscar, I have a friend who works in another organization, and he's a scout, and he told me that Ramon Marquez is one of the most underrated pitchers in baseball. I don't think I would trade him for anything.
I don't either.
Yeah. You told me that Marquez is better than
PhilliesBaseballFan.com. You can go to his page, PhilliesBaseballFan.com, or at SM Porter in X. I mean, he does a tremendous job. I'm telling you, everybody that I know, he does a tremendous job with the minor league system. He knows the system in and out. He's lived it for many, many years, and we send him a salute here to the great Steve Porter there. Look. Dante Nori, he's hurt right now. Arun Escobar, they're okay. I mean, they're okay.
Yeah.
Then you get some of the other guys just came in the draft. I mean, the Sprangler and the Bug and Pole and the Rojas. I mean, Rojas was interesting. Probably the mom move over to the U.S. and then they added the I there because Rojas should be the name there.
Like looking at these rankings, number 23 is Juan Parra, and Juan Parra has been the 3rd best player in the Dominican Summer League, and we already have Francisco Renteria as number 1.
Yeah.
So they do have a lot of these guys that are on the lower levels that could be something good, but a lot of these teams, they're trying to stay competitive. Maybe they're giving up this year, but not next year, and they're looking for those upper end prospects. And I do think that that's where the Phillies really struggle with some of the lack of quality minor league prospects at the upper levels. And that's why someone like McFarland might be attractive to some teams. But in my opinion, McFarland should just be on the Phillies. He could be one of the arms that you need to upgrade your current bullpen.
Maybe they go through it and they don't find a I mean, I know that he's a trade chip. He's a trade chip, and he's somebody that has proven 100 miles an hour, close games in the minors. So they don't want to stir him up. My view, they didn't want to stir him up too much, not to lose any value for the trading deadline. I mean, that's the bottom line. So
I think if he's still here after the deadline, we'll see him up in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, and then Brian Rincon, I mean, is he the long-term answer at shortstop? What are you going to do? What's your take on Turner? What will you do for Turner?
Yeah, I mean, part of me thinks that they're just going to swap him and Stott, and I don't think that that's the right answer. I think that he would be great in one of the corner outfield spots, but I don't know. It seems like we don't really take a creative approach here, and that's the easy move to make, but I don't know if that's the best move to make. But I don't see Turner as a shortstop next year at all.
I'm just worried about what's the future at outfield, what's the future at shortstop, what's the future at catcher, what's the future at third base and second base on this team. We know Harper is going to be the first baseman. We know Turner is going to be somewhere there unless they trade him. I mean, I offered the idea of Lindor. I don't think the Mets will take him.
No.
Lindor for Turner. I know Lindor has not been having a great season, but I love his profile. They're similar age, similar contracts. I know that Turner played with Soto. I know there's a dynamic there. I bet Lindor likes the limelight in New York as well, so it makes it interesting. But I like his profile better.
I agree. And, this whole conversation could just be a moot point 24 hours from now. Maybe they do trade for someone who's part of the future. What if they trade for Matt Chapman? That's one less thing that you have to worry about. I'm not saying they will, but they could.
I think if Chapman comes, for example, here, it would come because he has a big salary. Yeah. It's a salary dump. It will come with something else, like maybe Luis Arraez or something like that. But then you ship bomb to them for the remaining of this year. Maybe something like that will happen. I'm not 100% sure. But this team needs new blood. This team needs new chemistry. This team, I don't know. I'm just worried about you've been doing this for the last 3-4 years the same way, and this team haven't been able to win. And you ran it back. The running back, it's not working. I mean, I know that we're in the playoffs. I know, but the question is, can this team get you over the hump? And the only way you get over the hump,
I say, I don't know. It feels like you just have to patch the holes right now and figure it out in November. And then there's
last year, you got to give it to him. Durant was a tremendous acquisition. Luzardo was a tremendous acquisition. Those are core guys on this team. The question is, can you get one more core guy here that could be that guy that can solve the puzzle? I mean, it's very, very complicated.
I don't think it's going to happen at this deadline, unfortunately. But I wish that was a priority. But it really does feel like they have so many holes right now that they have to patch it up with rentals.
Brian puts Phillies win too. Yeah, they won the last. We need them. 50 games to go, guys. We need them to win 40 games. I mean, 40 and 10. That would be incredible. But
just an update on Gausman. They gave up their 13th and 22nd prospect. The Cubs did.
Which one? Repeat.
The Cubs gave up their 13th prospect and their 21st prospect.
Yeah, which is, it's manageable. I mean,
it's a rental.
It's a rental. It is a rental, and it shows that he has not been pitching well, and this is in his last year. So I would love to have Abrazovan. I'd love to have Luke Weaver or Clay Holmes. If any of those two guys come in addition to what we said before, somebody that can help us in the outfield, I think it'll be a win. I mean, Luke Weaver would be unbelievable.
It feels like Dombrowski is going to do one of his famous get two players for one deal that he likes to do, where he goes on a team like the Blue Jays or the Mets or the Angels, gets two players and
2 for 1.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Yeah, I know. I agree. Tyler, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. Thank you for taking the time. This is a very important time for the Phillies. I do believe this team is in a crossroad. It's going to be in a crossroad the next 50 games and the offseason is in a crossroad because you're going to have to, if you continue with the same team, this team will not continue moving forward, and the window will be shutting down closer and closer. Will they have great players? Yes. The question is, can they win in the future? And it will depend a lot on what happens over the next 18 hours and in the off season to see if we can take this team again. Remember with product launches. I mean, I come from the business world. There comes a point in time where you start coming down. You have to kind of re-engage. That's the point where the Phillies are right now. They're in a mature stage, and you need to regain, and you need to do something different than you've done to be able to bring this team. But we'll see. It'll be very interesting. I would not want to be in the shoes of Dave Dombrowski and Mattingly in this point in time. But buckle your seatbelts. I mean, could be some fun times ahead in the next 18 hours. Follow Phillies Tailgate. I mean, Tyler will have it all for us, and we'll continue being with you every single week, every Sunday night, and then Phillies Fastball every day with Mike Gill on his show in the afternoons on ESPN 97.3. So great having you, Tyler. Anything else? Any last words of wisdom from you?
I think everyone just needs to be patient until the deadline. You know, if you see other teams making deals, there's still time. We can definitely criticize Dombrowski after the deadline if he didn't do it, but just be patient.
Just be patient. Let's go out and do it. Hey, have a great week, guys. God bless, and thank you, Tyler. I appreciate you, man.
Thanks.
Lanzamiento, aquí viene un batazo de Mundito entre right center field, la bola pica, se extiende, viene anotando Scott, empata el juego, también manda para la bola Turner anota y los Phillies se van arriba. Se prepara, Mundito en segunda, el lanzamiento, batazo profundo para el center field, la bola se va, Schwarber Bob, ¡campanazo! Aquí viene el lanzamiento, swing y lo ponchó.